Personal finance is something that everyone needs to know well if they want to reach their financial goals, handle financial emergencies, and make ends meet every day. Many people don't really understand how their own money works because they don't learn much about it in school. Here, we've listed the most important do's and don'ts of personal finance so that you can be financially ready for now and in the future. But before we start the countdown, it would mean a lot to us if you subscribed to our YouTube channel and pressed the bell icon. Let's get started. Number 1. Do create a budget. We know that most people don't like budgets, but they are very helpful. A budget is a plan for how you spend your money. You wouldn't go somewhere new without a map, right? Your money is the same way. Someone needs to show it where to go. You tell your money where to go and how to be used when you make a budget. It also tells you how much money you have to spend each month and where you might need to cut back if you're spending too much. Number 2. Don't make your budget restrictive. One of the main reasons why so many people hate budgets is that they make things so hard. It's like when you go on a low-calorie diet. You know you can't eat as much, so you want to eat more. The same thing is true about a tight budget. If you put too many limits on what you can spend, you'll rebel and buy things that aren't in your budget. You should instead try the 50-30-20 method. You should spend 50% of your income on necessary or fixed bills and expenses. You should spend 30% on fun or unnecessary spending and 20% on paying off debt and saving. Number 3. Do track your spending. If you don't keep track of what you spend, you can't make a budget or reach your financial goals. It doesn't have to be hard to understand. You can keep track of your spending with pen and paper if you think you'll write everything down, or you can set up an app that syncs with your bank account and keeps track of your spending in real time. Number 4. Don't give up budgeting if you overspend. Budgets aren't set in stone and mistakes happen. If you go over your budget 1 month, it doesn't mean you're bad at budgeting and should stop. Instead, figure out why you spent more than you should have and then adjust your budget. For instance, if you spend too much each month on eating out, find a time when you can cut back slowly. You might bring your lunch to work in a brown bag, or you might ask your friends if you can meet at their houses instead of a restaurant. Small changes can lead to big benefits, so go easy on yourself and keep budgeting. Number 5. Do make sure you have an emergency fund. Everyone needs an emergency fund with enough money to cover expenses for at least 3 to 6 months. This fund should cover you if you lose your job or become suddenly unable to work. You'll have enough money to pay your bills while you decide what to do next. Number 6. Don't keep your emergency fund at the same bank as your checking account. It's best to keep your emergency fund at a different bank, or even an online bank that you can't easily get to. This is why. If you keep your emergency money with your checking account or even at the same bank, it's easy to get to the money when you need it. It's easy to lose track of what's an emergency and what's not, which could lead you to spend your emergency fund on things that aren't emergencies. Number 7. Do check your credit annually. Even if you think you were a victim of fraud or there are mistakes on your report, it's not necessary to check it every week. Instead, you should check it once a year. When you check your credit report, you make sure that all of the information on it is fair and correct. It also gives you a chance to see if you need to change any of your credit habits. For example, if you always go over your credit limit or pay your bills late, you'll need to start doing things differently to raise your credit score. Number 8. Don't apply for credit all the time. You'll get a lot of offers in the mail for great credit cards or rock bottom APR loans if you have good credit, and sometimes even if you don't. Don't believe the advertising that says you already qualify or that the rate can't be beat. Your credit score will go down if you always try to get credit. If you take out new loans, the average age of your credit goes down, your total debt goes up, and you put your credit at risk if you can't pay your bills. Instead, don't apply for credit unless you really need it, and before you do, look around to find the best deal. Number 9. Do have a method for impulse buying. We've all bought things that weren't on our list, but if you make a plan for buying things you don't need, you'll be better off. The 48-hour rule might help. Give it 48 hours if you see something you want that isn't on your list. If you still want the item after that time, you should figure out how to pay for it. But if you're like most people, you'll forget about the item and save money on something you didn't even need. Number 10. Don't restrict your budget so you don't have room for fun buying. Make sure that your budget isn't so tight that you have no room to move. You need money left over for going out to eat, going to the movies, and making the occasional impulse buy. This doesn't mean you should buy things on the spot, but if you give yourself some room in your budget, you'll be more likely to stick to it. Number 11. Do make room for investing. Investing can help you reach both short-term and long-term goals. Short-term goals can include saving money for a down payment on a house, buying a car, or paying for college. Most long-term goals have to do with retirement. When you're saving for short-term goals, you want to put your money in safe investments that will grow but won't put so much at risk that you can't get it back if you lose it. If you're saving for retirement, you can put your money in a tax-advantaged account, like a 401(k) or an IRA, so that you don't have to pay taxes on the money you put in, and it grows tax-free. Number 12. Don't invest without knowing what you're doing. Investing is easier than ever with your phone or computer, but don't take a chance if you don't know what you're doing. Learn as much as you can about investing, how much risk you can handle, and when to start and stop. Know what you're getting into and what the worst thing that could happen is. Watch out for deadlines, interest rates, and the minimum amount you have to invest. You can invest with apps or online, but the more you know when you do, the better things will turn out. Financial peace comes from knowing how to take care of your own money. Learn how credit works, how to make a budget, when and how to invest, and how to tell when you need to cut back. With good money habits, you'll be able to reach your financial goals and have peace of mind as you get closer to retirement. So that's it for today. We hope you found our video interesting. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and tell your friends about it. Also, please think about subscribing to our channel if you haven't already. Make sure to turn on the bell so that you don't miss any of our new uploads. In the end, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.